pull up this Resident Evil trailer really quick. So I watched this already, and I wanted to watch a deeper like Easter egg video of it. So we're gonna watch an Easter egg video as well, and I'll just splice it all together for a YouTube video. But for right now, let's just jump straight into the trailer.
Hello?
Definitely giving off horror vibes already.
Use your phone. Hello?
Ooh.
Sorry.
I like this guy too. He was in Weapons. I like him. A punch in the face by that fucking cop.
Hey babe, look, I'm really sorry that we got disconnected earlier, but some things have happened. I'm in like a seriously fucked up situation right now. And it looks like there's a chance that we might not get to talk to each other again.
Wow. Oh my god, that is so fucked up, dude.
I just wanted you to know.
I wonder if that cop car says Raccoon City. This is like some World War Z shit.
I love you.
I like the idea that it looks just really like, I don't know, it looks like it's got the same tone as like Barbarian and Weapons did, where it's going to be like kind of a slow burn. But I think this might be a little bit more fast paced than what Cregger normally does with his movies so far. But like, it looks like it's going to be like, and that's just a teaser trailer, of course, but like, it looks like exactly kind of what they said was that it was going to like follow one guy, and it's going to be very just like straightforward. Like it's going to go straight through. Like you're pretty much the main character. You're the main character in this. Like this guy right here, he's pretty much the player character. So like, it's kind of, I like the idea. I really do. And yeah, I do think that's Baron Harkonnen. I really do. Where was that? Let's see if we can see it again. Speaking of, like, what the fuck is that, bro? Like, what is this? Like, what? I don't understand. Like, is this like a psychological thing? Like, maybe he's just like seeing this. Maybe he's afraid of a fat guy or something. I don't know. But he looks fucking gross, dude. And he does look like Baron. He literally looks like Harkonnen, like straight up, dude. It's insane. I'm telling you, dude, like looking at this on like a big screen, this is definitely like Adriana's POV when she's trying to go to the bathroom in the morning. I'm just sitting on the toilet shitting like that. Like, that's literally me. My whole physique, bro. That's actually me. Yeah, dude, he's got the spice flowing through him right now. My Raccoon City. My dude. Like, what is that shit, bro? What is that, bro? I don't understand, like, there are no fucking zombies in Resident Evil that do that. That's my biggest, like, it freaks me the fuck out, but it's the most Evil Dead thing I've ever seen, because it's like, it's not that the zombies are possessed in Resident Evil. They're literally just fucking, they're undead. Like, they're dead. Like, that's it. Like, they don't fucking do this. Like, what, like, I don't know. It's just like, I wonder, what if this is like a dream sequence? You know, like he's taking, like like he fell asleep or something midway through doing something, and then fucking like he's just having a crazy dream because he's so scared. I don't know, but like this doesn't make any sense. But like I like it. Like it freaks me the first when I saw this, I was like, what? Like that's crazy as fuck. Like imagine seeing that, dude. Like that's just insane. But it doesn't really make sense for like Resident Evil. But it's not supposed to technically be like exactly how the games are. So maybe this is going to switch it up a little bit. Is there a Raccoon City sign anywhere? Like, do we have anything? Oh, it looks like a normal, like just cop car. And then we got like a baby right here, dude. Like, I really like that shot, by the way. I like this shot of him just running through with like the first aid box. Like I just think it's really like, I don't know. It looks really nice. I like it. We need to watch a trailer breakdown though, because I want to see if there's any like major Easter eggs here. Holy fuck, dude. This is like the perfect like way to do a Resident Evil movie though. This is it, dude. Like I told you this already, Alex, but like this is it. Like I've been like, you cannot make a Resident Evil live action. You can do a Resident Evil movie. Like the animated movies are fine. Like if they want to do like an HBO show of Resident Evil, like I've been saying for years, that's perfectly fine. But they can't do an IRL show, like an actual live action show or movie, unless it's like this, where it's not like necessarily the same as the games, but it's also sharing things with the games. Like the whole like Mila Djokovic ones, like they shared things with the games, but they tried really hard to impress the gamers. Like they tried, like they put a Leon in the game, they had Claire, they had a Jill. Granted, Jill was cool in Apocalypse, but like it was still like kind of corny. So like them doing this with like a new character, like new shit altogether, it kind of is the only way to do this, to be real with you. Because like it's just the fans, oh god, the fans, especially myself, like I can't watch a Resident Evil movie that's trying too hard. I just can't do it. When you're making something that's like its own horror, you know, because like every Resident Evil game is pretty much its own game. Like for the most part, like it's almost always a different story with a different character. Sometimes you'll have Leon multiple times, but like for the most part, like this reminds me of like Resident Evil 7. Like this is like the Resident Evil 7 of the movie franchises. Like that's kind of my best way of explaining this. That's how it feels to me, and that's how it should be. Like where it's like new characters, kind of a new all around story happening, but still a part of the overall like world of the games. Which is cool, which I'm wondering if we're going to see any of the game characters at all. I really don't think they will. I think it's going to be too like corny or campy to do. I do have a breakdown video. I'm not sure how good it is, but we'll see how it is right now. Let's check it out.
This is for sure, bar none, my most visually gonzo movie.
Looks like it.
All right, I'm Zach Cregger. This is the teaser for Resident Evil.
Sounds good, Alex.
Which is coming out September 18th.
Blue, Spice Waters, Blue, Resident Evil confirmed.
So
only happened because the Spice of Arrakis.
For this
confirmed.
movie was to just try and make a movie that felt like my experience of playing the games, that could live in the world of Resident Evil. So this, you know, I feel like this movie takes place alongside the events of Resident Evil 2. I like to think that, you know, everything that's going on in the police station could be happening in this world. This is just another dude on another mission on the other side of town, and like what's going on with him. So yeah, I mean, it's not canon.
I like that. I think that's smart. I think it saves him from having too much heat on him for trying to be like the games too much. I think that's very smart. I think that's the only way you can do this. I really do, because, and like you can make a campy ass Resident Evil movie. You can do it. They did it. Welcome to Raccoon City. It's super campy. It's got a bunch of Easter eggs, but it sucks ass. Nobody liked the character castings, and that's the problem. You cast one character wrong, it's over. It's over. Like, you saw what they did when they did that fucking Resident Evil show on Netflix. They made fucking Wesker a black dude, and it was the end of the world, man. So, like, you gotta be careful with this shit. Speaking of, I'm gonna need Anthony Starr to cosplay Wesker someday, dude. I'm really gonna fucking need it. Let's continue.
In that I'm not using the characters, but it's canon in that it lives in the actual.
So he's not using the characters.
Day of reckoning and Raccoon City. So he, you know, this movie follows the characters. He's outside of Raccoon City. He's got to get into the center of it, and we're kind of with him as he goes through this gauntlet of set pieces. He gets deeper and deeper into town, and so you know, what I love about the games is that, you know, every set piece brings with it unique new horrors.
I like that.
And so I wanted the rhythm to feel like it was always changing, it was always shifting. You were always facing increasingly bigger dangers, and you had to be aware of, you know, resource management and health and things like that. So I really did use a lot of cues from the games on how to build this thing out. And so yeah, it's a love letter to the games, which I fully obsessively love. All right, so one of the things that I love about Resident Evil is
this is an Easter egg breakdown from Cregger himself. That's awesome. I think it's Cregger.
Graduation from gun to gun to gun. So you can see in the first shot here, he's got a pistol.
He does.
That's the first weapon that he acquires. As he progresses, he'll graduate to the shotgun. And then,
dude, we are literally the player, like the main character. Like, that's so fucking cool.
And ultimately, he'll get an MP5. That's one of the fun things about playing these games is whenever you get the new weapon, you're like, oh, fucking thank God. Thank God. And so his character kind of has that reaction as he does it. A lot of this movie is like third person, you know, so there's a steady cam following Austin, our actor. And it was really a dance between him and our camera operator. So, you know, when I had a really wide lens and we're kind of over his shoulder. And so when he looks left, we like pivot around.
Oh, he's moving. I didn't even realize it.
Swing around and look right. So I really tried to incorporate just the visual language of the games into the movie. There's also, you know, a fair amount of first person shooter stuff in this movie that is, you know, the games utilize sometimes.
It's fire.
But really just like you're behind the character and when they look right, you look right. When they look up, you look up. And I love the transparency. That be the most common visual language of the movie, I should say, is very much from the.
See, like even he can't differentiate it anymore. This movie is going to be fucking awesome. This movie's going to be awesome. You could just tell it's made by somebody who wants to he wants to just show how much he loves the series as well as like make it his own thing. And I fucking love the ideas, man. I love the passion.
Games. This is for sure, bar none, my most visually gonzo movie by far. The great thing about how I like to play Resident Evil, especially the first time I play one of the games, I like to go really slow through the world and just kind of drink it in and try and immerse myself. You know, I'm pretending I'm there, like we all probably do when we play games. So you know, Austin is our main character, Brian, I should say. He's moving slowly through this world. So you know, if you've seen any of my other movies, you know I like to kind of like creep through these name is dreadful spaces, and Resident Evil is like the perfect playground for a guy like me who likes to just, you know, really take his time.
Well, especially after Barbarian, where it was like the movie was literally about a monster. Like there was literally like an actual like Elisa Trevor type monster down in the basement. Like it's fucking amazing. Like for his first movie, Barbarian really fucking showed his type of style. And I feel like this is that type of style, like where it's slow paced, but it's going to have some fucked up action going on, like fucked up suspense happening. I love that. And like weapons, I guess there were kind of zombies, not really zombies, but like that Asian guy got fucking taken over by that fucking witch or whatever. And he looked like a zombie a little bit. He was like chasing that girl around like this. It's crazy. Weapons was good.
Turning down a hallway, opening a door, you know, and waiting for that
Alex,
Jack
you liked
in the Box
Weapons
moment. And so you know, that's kind of what Austin's doing here, is he finds this abandoned farmhouse. I was a massive fan of Austin after working on Weapons, and I'm a bigger fan of him after making Resident Evil with him. He's so fascinating. He's the perfect avatar for the viewer. And what I wanted to do a Resident Evil movie where you're not following a badass with military training. You're following your average gamer. Like
that's that corny shit. Nobody wants to like. That's the thing. Not only is it casting, it's hard to find characters that are already so defined in a video game. You know what I mean? It's one thing to get Pedro Pascal to play Joel from Last of Us. That's one thing, okay? Like Joel can kind of just be played by anybody, obviously. But with like Leon, I don't know who you're going to find to play Leon to satisfy myself and all the other fucking Leon Glazers out there. Like, you're just not going to find it. There are certain castings that people have been wanting to see for a long time, like Anthony Starr as Wesker. But again, it's going to be super campy because Wesker is a super fucking campy character. He has like superpowers. It's fucking retarded. Like, it's just how it is. It's Resident Evil. That doesn't translate well to a live action movie. It just it could, but not with this tone.
I would be terrified, and I would be
As a matter of fact, Wesker being all fucking superhero Neo is kind of when the series started turning more actiony.
95% of the shots I took, I would have to learn the guns
when it was grounded, and he was just like a behind the scenes villain taking over, like doing shit in the Spencer Mansion, betraying the Stars team. That was cool. Like that, like, and I mean, it's always cool. I love it. But like that was cool because it was almost like a murder mystery, not a murder mystery, but like a suspenseful, like, oh my God, big twist at the end. Your fucking commander is the bad guy type bullshit. But then when he turned into like a super fucking villain, it got corny. And it's like, and it's always corny dialogue wise, but it got extra corny when he got superpowers.
Go, because I've played with an MP5, for however many thousands of hours playing video games. But if I have one in my hand, I'm like, where's the safety? How does this work? And so I think it's just kind of fun to be following somebody with no combat experience whatsoever as they're walking through hell with a machine gun. What he's carrying is important, and he doesn't know the whole picture when he accepts the job of what he's been tasked with. And Austin is just kind of this like perfect, very lovable but by no means badass guy, and his reactions to the horrors is just
all right. So the medic bag, he's on a task to deliver it or something like that. How could that relate to Resident Evil 2 in any way? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't at all. But the first thing I thought when I saw it was either there's like a T-virus something in there, which I doubt. They wouldn't have some random civilian taking care of that. Or it's the med kit that ends up being the one that takes care of Leon's gunshot wound. I don't know. That's kind of a stretch, but I don't know. That's the first thing I thought of.
I love it. I love it.
And it looks like there's a chance that we might not get to talk to each other again.
I just really love the idea of like you're moving through a sewer. You have no idea what's in front of you. And
Gotta
you
have a
come
sewer
around
section.
a corner and you see a gigantic, obese, naked, hairless man just sitting facing you. It's like, to me, it's just like, what is about
Some
to go
whitest
down?
kids you know shit.
I like the question there. And what does go down, I am also pretty happy with. Honestly, it's like part of the inspiration for the look of this guy comes from the book Blood Meridian. There's a character called the Judge in that book who's described as like a 7 foot tall, maybe albino hairless
Blood Meridian
man.
is.
And I love the image of that guy. And so this is just my little nod to one of my.
So Blood Meridian is a book that is deemed as one of the most impossible books to adapt to film because of how violent and just grisly and disgusting it is. It's actually written by the same guy who wrote the book No Country for Old Men, the one that the movie is based off of. And he also did The Road. If you've ever seen The Road, it's very depressing, but it is a good movie. So he's an author that people are polarized by, especially filmmakers. They want to make movies that he's created at some point. And I believe The Counselor was also a movie that was adapted as well. And that one was star-studded. Ridley Scott directed movie. Wasn't that good, but it's still a cool story.
My favorite books of all time. And
what the character he's talking about is an absolute disgusting human being. He does the worst of the worst. He's the reason pretty much the entire book is so like unreadable.
And it's like, I don't have a nemesis in this movie, that the games use, which is like this gigantic hulking, Terminator that's following you. But this is also like a little bit of a nod to the nemesis. I don't want to give too much away of whatever it is that's coming out of the door, but I will say that there's a mechanic that I've put into this movie that is, it might be in some of the games, and I just can't remember it being in some of the games, but basically it's the way the infected interact with each other. And it's something that kind of pursues him throughout the movie. And so I don't want to say too much, but I'm really excited for how this specific creature, for lack of a better term, how it changes and how it evolves over the course of the film is really fun.
Again, it reminds me of an Evil Dead monster, or something from like the Evil Within. Like, it reminds me of like Evil Dead, like especially at the end of Evil Dead Rise when like the mom and like the kids morphed into like one big nasty fucking monster. That's kind of what that reminded me of. I don't know how I feel much about his whole like thing about the infected working together. I mean, you can kind of see it when they're jumping off the rooftop and shit. But like, not that means they're working together, but it seems like they were in sync about doing something. But in general, like it's just, I don't know. I think the whole like thing that he was just talking about with like the nemesis or whatever that thing was is kind of weird, but I think we just don't really have any context about it.
Believe it or not, this movie doesn't utilize zombies that much. It's much more focused on like the weird creature stuff than the zombies. There's really only 2 scenes, maybe 3 actually, now that I think about it, where there's like proper zombie stuff going on, and 2 of those 3 are in this trailer. There's this one right here, and then there's the one where he's running through the city streets and zombies are like detonating around him. But other than that,
the amount of like in-depth analysis we're getting from the writer and director himself right now is really crazy. Like, it's refreshing, but it's like kind of weird in a way. Like, normally they don't want to talk about shit, especially with the movie coming out in September.
I wouldn't call this like a zombie movie necessarily. I just feel like you have this opportunity for the T virus to do all these really fascinating things to the human body, to the world around you, and so to just limit it to zombies feels like a squandered opportunity.
I like that. I kind of appreciate that, because he's making it where the T virus isn't just something that morphs, humans necessarily. Maybe there's other things that it does, like maybe it's like zomboids aren't the only thing that your genes can turn you into, is pretty much I think what he's saying here. So like that creature with like all the arms and the legs or whatever, like that's probably just a random mutation because somebody's genetic, their blood or some shit. I think that's really cool. And same with the fat guy in the sewer, the Baron Harkonnen in the sewer.
So I tried to really vary it up.
Some things have happened.
Okay, great. So I'm glad you picked on the drawers and the empty shotgun, because one of the things that like is so integral to playing Resident Evil is you're constantly searching for healing items and ammunition, right? And that's what he's doing in these scenes where he's going through the drawers. He's found a shotgun. He's got no shells. He's got to find the shells. So he's got to like comb this house for these like vital, bits of ammunition. And so you can't really do a proper, love letter to the games without that. And so I've also hidden some, I think you can see one in this trailer maybe. There's a plant, camera screen left over his right shoulder.
Oh, it's an herb.
Kind of see it in the movie. The shot pulls back farther and you can see it. But I took the green herb from Resident Evil 4 and I replicated the bucket exactly. You can see the bucket there at the very end of that shot.
Cool,
with
very cool.
The horizontal copper striping on it, and the herb is like is like exact for the Resident Evil 4 thing, which is probably the game I've played the most out of this series is 4. Even though this probably lives in the world of 2, I just wanted to use a little bit of 4 in here, just because it's my favorite. And I also have some other items from 4 that are kind of scattered around in this movie that people will notice. As much as 4 is the game I've played the most, I don't think it's very scary.
I mean,
4
it
does
is
not do nearly as
senses.
much atmospheric heavy lifting as later games do. I mean, for me, the scariest moment of any Resident Evil game is in 8 when you're being pursued by the giant baby in the dark of that.
That seems like his type of shit.
Games after 4, I think, actually do a better job of building dread and suspense and terror. But the reason that I keep coming back to 4 is because the world is so big, the game is so huge, the mechanics are fantastic. And it does lean a little bit more action than some of the more horror-centric ones. But I don't know. I find it so relentlessly playable.
It's innovative.
I'm always interested in how it kind of goes from location to location to location. And you got to go through, at some point you're on a boat and then you're on like a...
Resident Evil 4 is the most game you'll ever fucking play. Ever. It is a perfect game from start to finish. And in my opinion, games like BioShock 1 specifically, really are close to that. Like they're just like that, where it's like you start the game, you play all the way to the end, you're switching locations and you're always getting stronger and having more stuff that you can open up and see and do, more treasures, all that shit. I love a game that knows what it is, and Resident Evil 4 knows what it is.
Indiana Jones Temple of Doom kind of minecart thing going around. There's there's so much to do in that game, and I think that's something that I really dug about 4, is that you're not just trapped in one mansion and you've got to unlock a room and then go here and then unlock another room. You're moving through a world. And so that's something that I really took from that game in particular. And one of the other things that is in this movie that comes directly from the games is the need for keys and for padlocks being barriers. If you've ever played one of these games, you know that you always come to a locked door and you don't have what you need to get to the other side, and you have to go through hell to get the key to get out of here. And so that happens, I'd say, about 4 times over the course of this movie, where he's like, what is with all the fucking padlocks, man. Anyone who's played the games will recognize exactly, what I'm doing.
I had a little
I
bit
love
of a
that.
problem on the road. I was wondering if I could use your phone.
It takes place almost in real time, but not really. There's a lot of time jumps, but yeah, it takes place over the course of one evening.
That's cool.
I'm sort of existing just adjacent to it because I'm not obsessed with the.
Okay, he's probably gonna say here, but does it take place in the back half where the fucking city's gonna get nuked, or does it take place in the first half where everything's just kind of kicking off? I'm assuming it's the kicking off one.
Timeline for me, it's like this is the first night that the T virus is broken out, and in this movie, it is like started in Raccoon City, and he's got to go straight into the eye of the storm, and so that's the deal. So I believe that when Leon arrives at the police station, that's still kind of like day zero, right, where shit's freshly gone wrong. So that's the timeline. Now I know that Raccoon City gets nuked, and I'm a little fuzzy on the timeline of when the nuke drops versus the day Leon.
This kind of worries me. I don't. It just shows he doesn't really like the movie's not like based around all the game stuff. But that also kind of worries me because the lore is kind of cool, and I would like this to be a part of the story in some way because everything Resident Evil does is pretty much part of the story. But to be fair, they haven't really ever confirmed that the animated movies are a part of the story of the games, or the actual. Obviously, the Mila Djokovic movies are not a part of the timeline at all. That wouldn't make sense. But like, I was kind of hoping this one would be in some way. But it seems like he didn't really do a whole lot of like crazy in-depth research about it because I don't think it's that important where it takes place, besides the fact that like he's probably just doesn't care about the nuke. Like you said, it's going to take place on day zero pretty much. So
sets foot in the police station. That nuking doesn't happen in this movie, which is why I'm not totally like brushed up on all that stuff.
Exactly.
But so yeah, this exists in like day one Raccoon City. Shit just went south. I was very, very fortunate to have a studio and a.
Am I going too far to think that maybe this movie isn't necessarily like what he wanted to make? Like, I feel not saying like the way of the movie. I think he was given full creative control, obviously, but I think he wanted to make like a zombie movie, and I think it just so happens that there was an opening to do a Resident Evil film and maybe start something new with it or whatever. And I think he took that opportunity. He was like, well, I like the games and, it's a big IP. It'll make a lot of money and it'll keep my credibility up. You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely think this movie's going to be good. I just think that like, there's a lot of it feels like he wanted to just kind of do his own thing, and they gave him permission to do that while also using the Resident Evil IP. Because I have a feeling one of the big gripes with this movie is going to be that it doesn't really make sense where it takes place. Like not like that it doesn't make sense, but I feel like people are going to be a little critical about I think people are going to want this to be a part of the story, like I am, and I don't think it's necessarily going to try to be. And I think that might be a little issue going down the road with this movie.
A production company that really supported me and never got in the way of we got to make sure we're doing X, Y, or Z. Like,
exactly. So he didn't have a studio, which is great. He got to do everything he wanted to do, obviously, but he didn't have a studio that was like committed to making sure that this goes somewhere in the timeline. They were just like, hey, make this movie. You want to make a movie? You're amazing. You're an amazing director. You're up and coming and you're so goddamn good. Please make a Resident Evil movie for us. You can do whatever you want. Just make sure that it's within this universe in some way. Just for the IP, just for the money, just to sell. I think that's what this movie is going to kind of be. And I'm okay with that, but it's just because I want more horror movies from this guy. Not necessarily because I want a Resident Evil movie like this.
I was given nothing but support. And so I know there's all kinds of horror stories you hear about filmmakers dabbling with IP and running into all sorts of frustrations, but I truly didn't have that.
I'm in like a seriously messed up situation right now.
All right. That's a cool video. I think that was a really good in-depth look at this. I didn't expect to get this today. I heard rumors that the trailer would come out, but I didn't expect to get a full breakdown like that. And I'm really happy that we got that because I am very excited. Like I said earlier in this, you know, I'm very excited for this movie regardless. I don't care with or without the Resident Evil name. I think this will be a cool, like creepy creature zombie movie. I think that's what it'll be. Less zombie, obviously, and more creature, but I still think the vibes, the feeling of the movie, you know, it's still going to be a Cregger movie. You know, it's going to be one of those movies. So like he's already hit 2 out of 2. I think he'll be fine with this movie. Like I said, I think the only flaw here is that it doesn't need to be Resident Evil. I have a feeling it doesn't need to be Resident Evil. Just because it feels like a lot of other things. And it, you know, just listening to him talk about it, it's kind of like you can tell he didn't have to brush up much on the history. He didn't, you know, he clearly was not given any like major direction. It was his movie. So I know he wanted to make like a zombie movie anyway, or like a movie like this anyway. This might just have been his chance to do something huge with a huge IP. And good for him, man. Good for him. I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's coming out September 18th, they said. I think it's going to be cool as fuck, though. Yep, movie theater September 18th. Filmed in IMAX. Filmed for IMAX, so I don't know if I'll be able to see it in IMAX, but I'll try, I guess. Either way, badass.